Anyways, speaking of big brain movies, we've got Dylan's pick this week, Kong, Skull Island.
Whoa, Kong Skull Island. Guys, I know this movie was hard to understand, but let me break it down for you, alright? So basically, you've got the beginning of the Monsterverse here. They've discovered this island that's been shredded by a storm for whatever reason. So they send in the military, they send in some geologists, send in some scientists, whatever. They start blowing the shit out of the island. Next thing they know, a giant fucking gorilla comes out and starts absolutely demolishing the helicopters. And then for some reason, Samuel L. Jackson has a hard-on for killing a big gorilla man, and thinking he can. So they kind of go throughout the whole movie. One group is trying to just get off the island. The army group's like, yeah, we gotta kill this thing. And then they run into the local villagers, this guy who landed on the island during World War II or whatever. And it's like, you guys can't kill him. He's the only thing that leaves balance in this world or whatever. They're running. They wake up the big skull crawler. It assumingly kills Kong, and then they're escaping somehow. And then Kong comes back to fight the big skull crawler one more time. They're all helping Kong fight the skull crawler. He kills it like 3 times. And then they all escape, and it ends with Kong spectating more helicopters flying into his island and him getting mad, sad, angry. The end. Questions, comments, concerns?
This movie's sad for me, because I think it's pretty solid. No, not sad, not bad, sad. Because I think the start of the movie was pretty solid. I think they do a good job setting up what's happening here, the expedition, introducing the characters and stuff, and then the early stuff going on with the movie. And then I think once they meet, like, the tribe of people and Goofy McGooferson, it starts trailing down quite quickly for me.
I think it's like when they meet Kong is when it immediately starts to nosedive for me.
Nosedive as in bad movie, or...
What else would nosedive mean?
That's what the phrase nosedive means.
Well, Jackson said it was sad, and he meant sad and not like a bad way. I meant
sad. In sad, I'm saying sad because I think this movie had a lot of potential at the start, and it completely fumbles it. And I think that's sad, because this movie, from the start, they could have done a very good job with it, and they fumbled it. Like, they had a really cool setting, and some decent fun characters to start out with, and a cool idea, and then they fuck it up and make it just generic monster movie.
Yeah, it's really shocking as well, because like in that like first part of the film, we're introduced to like all these characters and stuff like that, and we get like these pretty nice shots, generally speaking. I feel like the cinematography was pretty solid, They had great framing, some excellent color work and stuff like that going on, but then all of that kind of just like disappeared the further we got into the movie. Like, I don't know, it just left me being like, man, this definitely was a King Kong movie now, wasn't it?
You guys are venturing into the realm in which you lose me, so I'm just gonna sit here and be quiet like a good boy.
I think this movie is kind of like a prototypical example of what I think of when I hear the phrase summer blockbuster.
Yeah.
Like, it looks good, the action scenes are very exciting, we
big
have
celebrities.
Big celebrities, very quirky characters, and then the plot is kind of thin, and the writing... My biggest problem with this movie is the dialogue. I think it is borderline atrocious throughout the entire thing. These characters, the way they speak to each other, the words they choose to use, the sentences they choose to speak are goofy to unintelligible the entire time, and it kept taking me out of the movie over and over again. The biggest pro for me is, I think it's very visually striking. I think the cinematography is really good. I think a lot of the way, especially when Kong is around, the way they frame shots around him, how they decide to frame those shots, just the general aesthetic of like these Vietnam helicopters and soldiers in this situation, was really good. I like a lot of the monster designs. I think the skull crawlers are really cool monsters.
I just wish they did more and felt like more threatening to Kong, because they really don't at any point. At no point in this film, like even when he's fucking like on fire and shit like that, and like fighting that one after he's all injured, I don't really feel like he's really in that much trouble against it.
What?
I can kind of see that, but I part of that might just be like, we know he's King Kong, he's not gonna lose.
He's been killing these tiny ones. I don't see what the big deal is.
Yeah, exactly, so it doesn't feel threatening.
Oh, I thought... Oh, you're talking about the... Oh, okay, never mind.
And then, it's monster movie schlock, which I like schlock. So, I don't really mind some of the weaker aspects of this film. And I think John C. Reilly I think John C. Reilly as this like crashed World War II guy is a standout. I really liked his character, and his dialogue I thought was very funny consistently.
Yeah, I do think he was the best part of the film for me.
Yeah. Is it crazy that this movie has 3 Avengers in it? Isn't that crazy to you guys?
That's so crazy.
That's so crazy.
Does Nick Fury count as an Avenger?
I'm just pulling it from the universe. I don't know. It also took me until this watch through to realize that the photography chick was fucking Captain Marvel. Also, because I don't think I knew who she was before when I watched this movie.
I thought it was Katniss Everdeen, aka whatever her actual name is. I don't know what it is. The fucking
Jennifer
chick that
Lawrence.
Yeah, Jennifer Lawrence. Yeah, no,
I think the entire movie.
I think the last time I watched this movie, I don't think Captain Marvel was out yet, so I think that's a justified statement.
Captain Marvel didn't come out until like 2019, I think.
Isn't that also when this movie came out?
No, this is 2017.
Yeah, so that would have made sense. I've definitely watched this movie way more times after the first time I've seen it. I don't know. I'm super into the MonsterVerse kind of thing going on here. The MonsterVerse is like Tanner's DC universe thing for me, where I am super, like, I like a lot of the facts of the info, and I'm, like, super deep into, like, the backstory and all these extras going on. I can appreciate this movie for kind of being a prequel, because that's actually what it is. Kong is the prequel to all of the other Godzilla, whatever other monster movies come after this. So this is technically the movie that started it all. And
I wouldn't have guessed that Godzilla would come after us, considering that post-credit scene.
Anyway, but I don't know, I just like the introduction where they get onto the island and, this rough, tough soldier guys flying in big Black Hawk helicopters, they all just get shut down, and it kind of establishes the fact, like, you're not welcome on this island, this isn't what you're used to. The only thing I like the motivation of Samuel L. Jackson's character. However, I find it kind of trivial and unnecessary, because it's just some crackpot soldier guy who's mad because a bunch of his men got off the island. He's not concerned about getting more people off before they die. His only concern is killing this, 10-story gorilla that easily took out all of his helicopters in, like, the span of 10 to 15 minutes.
King Kong is representative of the Vietnam War, Dylan. That's what he is. That's what he is in his mind, dude.
Yeah.
Yeah, the guy's also just, like, batshit insane. I think it's pretty clear throughout the whole movie that he's literally, like, crazy PTSD'd and set, and he's just, like, going out there for craziness.
They establish, like, pretty much right away, he's a character who, like, needs a war.
Yeah. But I like how... I don't know, I just like how there's a striking difference between when these people are on their own, faced with the wilderness of this island, and how minuscule they are. Like, there were some monsters in there that we didn't even get to experience. And then when Kong shows up, everything they thought was a challenge becomes trivial, because, the fucking skull crawlers, those things are fucking dangerous as hell. Their literal only purpose is to find meat and consume it, and then, that's it. That's their only purpose. So, and I think it just accentuates the fact, like, hey, you can't kill Kong, because these things will make it off this island and fucking kill everything just because they want to and because they can. So it kind of gives a plot progression as to why you don't want King Kong to die, and why you're kind of rooting against the army for so long. You just want him to get off the island, but there's obstacles keep popping up in the form of, all these random ass monsters. So I don't know. I like how the monsters kept things engaged, and they left a balance between, like, they have to survive by killing monsters, but not all of it. I don't know. I really enjoyed the movie. It was very enjoyable. I've always liked this movie.
Oh, we know, dude.
Yep.
Anyway, Tanner made a really off-color joke when King Kong got, like, all chained up and stuff like that. We all laughed, but at the same time, I kind of feel like he should be deplatformed. Anyway, Dylan, what do you rank this movie?
I'm curious about now what the joke was.
No, don't worry about it. Rank the movie.
Joke. He's making that shit up. I should have, though.
Yeah, I think I made one, actually.
No one made a joke, but we were all thinking it.
No, I'm pretty sure I made a joke. Anyways, go on.
A+.
That is shockingly reserved. I would have expected much higher. Jackson, would you fucking rank this movie, dude?
I go to C+.
A C+.
I think it could have been high B to low A, but it fumbled.
I'm kind of thinking somewhere around there. I think a C for me, though.
I'm missing the fumbling. I don't understand this movie to the extent you guys do, apparently.
I think it just really lost direction.
Yeah.
In the latter half of it. Also, I'm gonna be honest, you guys like the soul crawlers? I thought they were kind of goofy, to be honest. And I definitely, when with Nico, I just didn't see them as much of a threat at all. Especially like one was scared of some guy with like 2 grenades. Also, why did they do that guy like that? That's just fucked up.
It wasn't scared of him.
It wasn't scared. It was smart.
Yeah.
I don't even think it was smart. I think it was just a coincidence that it did that.
No. They very intentionally were showing that it's intelligent enough to realize it was some kind of a trick.
Yeah, backed off, but it's still fucked up they did that random guy like that. They didn't have to write that in. They just thought it was funny to kill off some random guy that was trying to sacrifice him. It's fucked up, though. It's some guy that's trying to sacrifice himself to save his comrades, and he just gets fucking, killed in some goofy-ass way. That's just mean. Why'd they do that to
goofy,
that guy?
It's brutal. Use your words properly, you monster.
It was so goofy.
You're goofy.
It should have just, eaten him and then, exploded and not actually done anything to it,
Yeah, that would have been a much better way of going about it. That would have showed that it's threatening and that it doesn't fucking care about
No, they're intelligent. It matches what the guy was saying earlier about how they're crafty little bastards. Anyway, go on, Tanner.
I gave it a B+.
Wow.
What a hack fraud. Anyways, that puts it at a B.
Shout out to the director, John Robert Voight, who had a massive Twitter freak out when CinemaSins did this movie.
Oh.
I would too, fuck CinemaSins. This is a CinemaSins anti-channel. CinemaSins...
I like those guys, they're funny.
Fuck you.
I used to watch them.
We all used to watch them, then we realized that they're fucking hacks.
Wait, what was the overall for that one?
B.
Okay.
Sad.
Meaning that Midsommar is narrowly better than Bruce Almighty, and Bruce Almighty is narrowly better than Kong Skull Island.
This is so sad.
Holy cow. I think that's appropriate. Again, like I said, this to me is very emblematic of a summer blockbuster, and I feel most, if not all, summer blockbusters are about a B.
Yeah, that poster is still sick, though.
I did reserve my rating, though. I will say that.
We know.